Well, hello. A friend of mine asked me to make a video on vinegar, and just before I show you, let you get kind of a close-up. There's a rim here. It looks dark, like the bottle's dirty. Okay. And real quick, I'm going to shake it, and it's gone. So, what that means is there's particulates in here. It's what they call, well, where is it? Ah, okay. So, con cultivo madre, it means it still has what they call the mother. So, this is literally apple cider vinegar that has been made with real apples. Since it's organic, I would imagine that they used organic apples. And of course, as you can see, the nutrition, it's absolutely zero and everything, but, vinegar. I started this bottle on the 9th of January, and I timed them just because I've had this bottle in use already for about a month and 4 days. I go through it pretty quick. I drink pretty much a swig a day after my coffee, but before my dinner, breakfast, lunch, the one meal I eat every day pretty much. And my friend Perry said, why don't you do a video on apple cider vinegar and give us its properties and everything else. Well, there's plenty of people that have done that. Dr. Ekberg, Dr. Berg, Thomas DeLauer, they all have something on apple cider vinegar. So go ahead and give them a ring and ask them about it, well, in the comments or whatever. But let me tell you what it's done for me. The vinegar tastes really good, especially if you're fat adapted, all right? And I add it to everything. So any sauce I make, I add a capful. Again, I wind up drinking it straight. Some people like to mix it with water. Since I used to eat in Frank's and, off my hand, mustard, I'll just, eat mustard right off a spoon. Vinegar's never been a problem for me. But here's the chief benefit it did for me. I had severe gastric reflux disease. And old Dr. Ekberg said, go ahead and drink apple cider vinegar, and it will heal you. And you're thinking, counterintuitive. You're saying because I'm dying of acid to drink acid. Yes, because that's how physics always works. It's the weirdest thing in the world, but physics just tends to do that. It's kind of like fighting fire with fire. So you have an oil derrick out of control, and boom, you set off charges, and the explosion actually blows the flame off of the oil. You wouldn't think that fire would be good for fire, but in this case, yes. Think of what they do when they backburn, assuming they don't make a silly mistake. What they do is they start a burn where they think they can control it, and then they burn toward the thing that's actually burning. And of course, as soon as it burns to that point, they've created a fire break. So there's no more fuel, so the fire obviously dies. Well, at the bottom of your esophagus is a sphincter muscle. It kind of does this kind of thing. And it's called the lower esophageal sphincter. And what activates it is acid. So when you have enough acid in your stomach, the sphincter will close off, and tightly so, allowing nothing to come back through the esophagus. What happens, though, with age or being overweight or having some metabolic problems, all the Syndrome X issues, you wind up weakening your stomach acid. Now, the wonderful allopaths will give you something to counter the symptom. And what do? Antacids. They give you some drugs that tell the stomach not to produce acid. So guess what? Your sphincter's never going to close. All right? You're still burping everything up. It just doesn't sting you like it used to. The problem with reduced acid in your stomach is you're not going to be able to process nutrients, especially from meat. And so you essentially die the way the vegans die. If you can't eat enough meat and it can't be broken down in the stomach, you really can't get to the vitamin B12, which is always the vegan's downfall. I'm not getting tribal here. I don't want to hear about it. If you call me a name, I'm going to ban you off my my channel. I'm not here to argue what's better. I'm here to tell you what I know. And if you don't like it, there's 8 million channels out there that vegans unite, man. Good for you. I'm just telling you what I understand about my body. My body, the acid wasn't high, low enough pH. That is, the concentration wasn't high enough. So as I started drinking vinegar, the acid returned to my stomach, and I haven't had reflux this reversed itself within a week. I haven't had reflux in over 9 months now, all right? Probably because I probably didn't have it up to, that I didn't have my last, there's nothing worse than, it's like 2 in the morning and all of a sudden you blurp up a bunch of liquid. Oh, and that's gross. And you got it in your mouth, you got to run to the bathroom, spit it out, or you re-swallow it. It's like, it's just nasty. Not for 9 months. I ain't had it. So it tastes really good. It's probiotic. From what I understand, it turns into medium chain triglycerides in your gut. The little bit of mother in this is good for your good bacteria. They eat it. It's essentially fiber. And the vinegar itself is something your body can use to make ketones out of. Could you use regular white vinegar? Sure. It won't have the fiber in it. It's processed, it's reduced, it's distilled, and then it's diluted to 5% acidity. But it does have acetic acid. There's things in the body called acetylcholines. I mean, the aceto is everywhere in the human body. Aren't you worried about lowering the pH in your body? No, my body will do that all by itself. A yawn will definitely release a lot of carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide, of course, is an acid ion. So there you go. Your body takes care of itself, and it will keep a very narrow range, all right? What you can do to really hurt yourself is actually drink bicarbonate of soda or alkaline water. Again, the minute it hits your stomach, it's going to neutralize anyway. It doesn't pass there. And you've just, unacidified your stomach, and then now we have problems. So if I were me, and I am me, I don't touch that garbage, not with a 10-foot pole. All right? The only time I use bicarbonate at all is when I'm using it as a leavener. And that may reduce the acid in my stomach a little bit, but I don't use too much of it at all. So anyway, it's supposed to be kind of a short and sweet video, but anyway, Perry, I hope you got enough out of this to buy apple cider vinegar. Try to make it organic. I mean, here I am. Oh my God. I was always one of these, types, organic this and organic that. There's a reason why I still kind of have a problem with some of it, but the rest of it's really good. I don't mind it. Because if they do follow it, that means that it is made as naturally as possible, and that's the big shtick here. So organic in the sense of this apple cider vinegar that I use, I love it. So hope this can help somebody. We'll talk soon. Bye.